If you're spending more time arguing about politics, Elon Musk, Doge, tariffs, or any other viral controversy that's going on, you've already lost. If you're spending more time doing all of that than building your business and leading your team, you're losing. And you just got to think to yourself, like, am I just contributing to the noise, or am I going to rise above it? So I did a couple of posts last week that, I have opinions. I have very strong opinions, as most of us probably do. And in the past, while I'm very outspoken, very direct, cut to the chase, just my style when it comes to educating and teaching, I've always, for the most part, avoided getting into these ridiculous arguments that take place on social media. When or if I ever have in the past done a political post, it has always been very carefully thought out before posting. What will happen as a result of me saying this? Even if I didn't say this left or this right, because I never have, ever. I've never sat there I've never gone over here or over here, but I've done very specific posts with the purpose of creating conversation, not argument, but conversation. And many times those posts have contributed, unfortunately, to arguments. And I knew full well what I was getting myself into. I also reserve the right to delete any posts that I put out there. Some of you guys need to think about that as well. Just because you post something on social media does not mean it needs to be there until eternity. Sometimes a post will serve its purpose. Okay, it served its purpose. I'm done. So early last week, I was doing, in my mind, I was getting fired up, riled up, and I was going to post something. And I had people on both sides of the fence. Do it, bro. Do it. Do it. Don't do it. Do it. Don't do it. And my uncle, thank you again, Uncle Rick, by the way. My uncle said, and this is it was a great question. He just said, hey, will what you post actually make any difference at all? And I looked at his reply and I was like, nope. So I slept on it. And then I woke up in the morning very early, as I always do. And I articulated a very lengthy, thoughtful, kind post. And if you missed that post last week, I actually did two of them, one day and then one, I think, a day or 2 days later. The response was so different than what I would have gotten had I succumbed to not rising above the noise. And again, I'm so utterly grateful for Uncle Rick, because he made me think for a second. I just want you guys to think, because I'm on social media. I see all this stuff. I see friends of mine that are so triggered right now that all they're doing every single post is just complaining, bitching, complaining, moaning. And it's like, bro, nobody's liking your post. You're literally getting zero engagement. You're probably taking your engagement and your audience that's used to the way you normally are, and they're just like, I'm tuned out. And especially because I know most people that follow me are involved in businesses. And I'm not saying, you do you, man. You do whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do. But nor was my Uncle Rick telling me what to do. He was simply saying, hey, is it going to make a difference? If you're pissed off about something and you're not happy about something, I mean, I get it. There's so much division and anger and fear going on. And especially for you networkers, which is most of you guys that follow me, it's we're in the business of lifting others up and helping people exercise their potential or seeing the potential that's inside of somebody that they don't even realize that they have, and helping develop character and developing skills and developing, a financial plan that they can go, not only change their own lives, but the lives of so many other people with the financial opportunities and whatever it is that they're selling through those financial opportunities. So when I see people in the network marketing space just bitch and moan and complain, and it's all they're doing, I'm like, that's just contributing to the noise. And so I made a decision. Like I'm like, I can get riled up, and I honestly, like, probably 90% of my posts, I'm like posting backspace, delete. Don't, I mean, seriously, because I have very strong opinions about certain things, lots of things. But me spewing my opinion about something that's so controversial and there's so much division over an opinion is, if unless I'm willing to get into the fight. I'm not talking about the fight. Let me go egg a Tesla, or, these poor innocent people who who bought a car trying to be good for the environment or whatever, and now they're getting keyed and firebombed and all this. It's insanity. And so I'll stop there. But so I have an opinion about that, but I'll leave that. So I just think, you're hurting people, and it's just not cool. It's not hurting the guy you think you're hurting. Not going to do anything for him. So I just ask yourself, am I contributing to the noise, or am I rising above it and actually making a difference? And if these things bother you so much that it's got you riled up and triggered, instead of like fighting on the streets or whatever, like, get involved in politics if you want to, get involved in whatever is going to help you, make a real difference. Because complaining on social media ain't making a difference. It's causing people, I promise you, especially if you're in business and you're like, because I'm in business, but I have opinions about politics and other things. And for me to like take audiences and, completely, like, if I, strongly take a side, whatever side of it is, businesses have people with all different opinions and thoughts and religious beliefs and all of these different, backgrounds and whatever. Just pause. Ask yourself again, is what this, and I pause a lot before I post. I pause, I won't say most of the time, but because I do a lot of family stuff, and me and Carla and the kids are skiing or whatever. But when I'm getting ready to say something, which I typically never post unless I'm going, okay, is this going to get engagement? What kind of engagement is this going to get? Is this going to inspire people? Like, because the post that in my mind, even though the post was not an angry post pre Uncle Rick, asking me that question, he stopped and made me think long enough to realize, because I articulated what I was going to say, and I knew it was going to stir up the pot, but not in, I'm not a ranting blah, I could be like that. I'm typically not like that, but I knew it was going to rile up something. And his one question caused me to just step back, sleep on it, and then attack it from a different manner. And again, if you happen to miss the post, I don't know what day it was. It's like a handful of posts below me on this live. Go look at it. What's interesting to me is, had I done what I was thinking about doing, even though it wasn't based in anger, it wouldn't have gotten nearly the amount of comments. I think that post, for me, like a post to get, I haven't checked in the last couple of days, but last I checked, it was like it had 27 shares. And I got a big following, but like 27 people sharing that post is a big number. It's definitely way higher average than most of my posts. And so I'm like, wow, what I would have done, but then what I did do, because I could have contributed to the noise, but I chose to rise above the noise. And that's like I'm just in a very different place in my life right now with my business, with my I feel like I'm in the zone. And for me to dip, it's like, why would I want to sink down into something? Like, I'm not going to go play in the sandbox with these people, because it's really not contributing to anything positive. So, and it's the same thing that we do with this A-team thing that I run. It's about helping people focus on the things that matter, business wise. Politics out of the equation altogether, all the division, all the things that are going on. The objective of that thing is to get people to be the better version of themselves, to be the more productive, difference maker that they want to be, but for any number of reasons, they haven't been able to do so on their own. So A-team is a reflection of some of what I've discussed about rising above the noise, contributing something of value, making a positive and lasting difference, and so on. So I made a decision. I did a post the other day on April 1st. It was not an April Fool's joke. I had enough people that were saying, hey, man, I want to get in, because people like getting deals. And I know your thing ends on March 31st at midnight, which we're going to change the price. But it's like, I don't get my check till the 7th. I don't get my check till the 10th. I know it starts on the 14th. So, who am I to say, okay, well, screw you, I'm not going to take care of you. So we've extended it. So again, there's 3 levels in A-team. I would certainly encourage you to come and play. You can see I just changed the thing on the screen. And if you haven't registered, and you want to rise above the noise and not contribute to it, and you want to rise, your rank and your check, and just be a person that gets up every day, not sucked into the drama and the negativity, and you want to do something. It's like, because I can get pulled into that stuff so easily. And it's just like, this is not feeding my soul. This is not making me a happy person. And I think about, I had a discussion on the chairlift yesterday with a guy who spends, half of his time in Costa Rica. And Carl and I have discussed the idea of retiring down in Costa Rica, where I can surf every day and eat good food and fish and fruits and sunshine and the beach. And I daydreamed on the chairlift for a moment about, man, if I'm down there, if I'm at the beach, I'm not online, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on this, I'm not on that, I'm not watching the news. I don't even know all that crap's going on. It's like, none of that stuff is going on. I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to have these things that get me all riled up and angry and cause me to go into a tizzy fit. And life's just so much simpler that way. And I'm not saying don't be in the know or whatever, but I don't know. I just don't believe, a lot of the stuff that I see. There's some really intelligent, well-spoken individuals on social media that contribute some amazing thoughts that, wow, that was really well written. And I would rather be that dude than the one that's like, some of the stuff, I'm just I'm shaking SMH, man. I'm shaking my head. And I'm about to make a couple of phone calls to a couple of dear friends of mine, because it's like, what are you doing? Are you happy doing all of that? Because I see it, and I've unfollowed you. I didn't unfriend you, but I unfollowed you. Because everything that you post is negative, negative, negative. The world is ending. And it's like, if the world's going to end, why don't you go do something about it? Because what you're doing is not making a difference. I'm a person I love a bunch. And I'm just I've debated and waited, how do I want to approach that? And I haven't decided yet. So anyhow, I would love to have you come rise above the noise and not contribute to it. and let me work with you for 90 days. We start on the 14th, April 14th, the day before tax day. And I'm more than happy to help you be that better version of yourself, have more confidence, take more action, make a bigger difference, impact others. And I know for a fact that when you do A-Team and you do it fully with all of your heart, soul, and being, and you treat it as the difference maker it truly is, 90 days from now, you're going to be coming back going, bro, man, I'm so glad I did that. And let me say one thing real quickly, because I have a friend of mine that's struggling at the moment. And I know the struggle because I've been there. If you're in a situation where you're like, okay, whatever, like you're just like, you're in that bad zone. I'm not even talking about the division zone I'm like, you're mentally not in a good place. Like you're down, maybe you're depressed. You know what's going on. And you're like, I don't know how to fix this. And I can tell you right now that staying in that spot and wallowing in it is not going to serve you. And it's most certainly not going to serve others. It is very, very unhealthy. And it's not a fun place to be. I mean, I'll be straight with you. I've had seasons of depression in my life. Interestingly enough, when business is ripping, making money hand over fist, like nothing to complain about, no debt, cash is rolling in, and I'm standing right here, right behind me where there's a window here, and I'm like staring out the window, feeling blue, feeling down. And I'm like, I got a beautiful family, I got healthy kids, I got great friends, I got an incredible business. Why am I down? What I got to be down about? It's not like something happened. I mean, some people have reasons to have, and depression. And I've learned to understand what depression is. And there doesn't have to be an incident, a thing that occurs, and whether it's chemical imbalance, like whatever, the things that are going on in the brain. And if you're in a low productive mode or a no productive mode, and only you know that, then there's no better game to come and play than run with a group of people that are all going that direction. They're moving up. They're all, different companies, different people, different backgrounds, but they all got one thing in common. They're like, I want to be the better version of myself. And I'm willing to put a little money out there because it's really not a lot and go. And so if you're happen to fit into that category, A-Team can be a huge solution for you. And I've had, because you guys know this, I've run this thing since 2008. I've had people who've had their spouses die, who've had parents die, who've had deathly ill relatives, who've had traumatic and dramatic things going on in their lives. And they've straight up told me, if it wasn't for A-Team, I would have been completely checked out. Like checked out. Like I would have been in my dark little cave, weeping and crying, and I would have stayed there. And that is such an unbelievably unhealthy place to stay. And it was like that. Yeah. Was I maximally productive during that quarter? No, but I can tell you right now, I did way more. And if it wasn't for that, I would have been in the darkness. And so this program helps people at a lot of different levels. And as I've mentioned before, over the last couple of weeks, I've made some really cool adjustments to it. And I know that some people are scared, and I get that. But I don't bite. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to help you. And I realized taking the step, that commitment, like, okay, I'm going to do it. This is an accountability program. Oh boy. I get it. I totally get it. I mean, I remember the first time I ran it, people were scared. Like, oh, just like, what are you going to do? You're going to beat me up? I'm like, bro, I'm not going to beat you up, man. I'm going to help you. So I'd love to have you. So if you have not registered for A Team, we're starting soon. So toddfalcone.com/team. You can see it on your screen. And let's be folks that rise above the noise, not contribute to it. All right. All right. Thanks, my friends. We'll see you.